else do you guys want to talk about?
You want to keep
I'm
going?
not here all
you
the
want to
time.
keep going, Gary?
Yeah, like maybe 5 minutes. Like what else? What else is interesting?
Okay, let's do funny American things. What was it? What funny things?
Well, things that
That
you
are
think
in
are
America
Canadian?
or not Canada or vice
Oh, that you
versa.
thought like you thought like
Okay.
Wendy's was Canadian.
No, not just like I thought
I
things
actually
were.
also would have thought Wendy's was Canadian.
There you go.
It seems like a Canadian logo, you know? That little girl with the braids.
Yeah, but you guys, do you know
Colonel?
Dave Thomas?
Yeah, the Colonel.
But did you think he was like a Canadian? No, that's
you didn't
KFC.
know S Club
Oh,
7.
shit.
S
Yeah.
Club 7 was not an American thing.
Well, that was a UK, that was European.
Yeah, so like that was
But,
another
like,
thing.
okay, so you guys
I
just
was,
missed
I was
out
living
on
here
that?
for like a year or two, and then
S Club.
yeah, some song comes
There
on
ain't
at a
nobody
wedding,
like an S Club
and all
party.
the fucking people at the wedding are like line dancing and and like doing the dance. And I was like, what? I was
Yeah,
like,
we were
what?
like, S.
Yeah.
It's a whole
literally,
thing.
literally doing a line dance, and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I'm like, you don't know S
Did
Club?
you get Holiday? Yeah, that's Madonna. Did you do the Holiday dance?
We're not
But again,
now we're just doing
Madonna's-
bat mitzvah dances. That's not,
but Madonna's
that's not the point
like,
of this. Hold on.
lived in America.
Other things. Oh, like donut holes. We call them Timbits.
Smarties. So
Smarties are different.
in the U.S. are like sour candies,
They're like
What?
they're like long things that dissolve in your mouth. Like
and then
they look
here
like
they're like
kids'
M&Ms. Here in
chewables.
Canada, Smarties and M&M. You know what? I'm
Oh,
like,
didn't
you know
know
what's
that.
crazy though is like I'm losing.
Rockets. They're what rockets. You know what a rocket
course
is.
I know, yeah.
So it's that's a
But
Smartie
again, like,
in the
Halloween.
US,
all
but
the
bigger.
candies are different. Like we don't have rockets. It's not a thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have Smarties, which are
I
bigger
had, I
versions.
actually had no clue.
What I find really weird is I'm losing touch with like what is and what isn't. So because I've lived here for like 10
Losing
years.
touch. It's not like we've
Yeah.
like
No. So
kidnapped
you know what's
like
weird?
This is
Well, I was
Handmaid's
I was
Tale.
just in Florida.
That's so creepy too that they're in Canada being like, let's save our Americans. You know, it shows very symbolic.
Well, I was in Florida, and in Canada, you
Yeah.
never give your credit card to like the restaurant person, the waiter or waitress, to take it away and pay your bill.
You never do
Like
that.
in the U.S., you're just like, here's my card, see you later. Here, you never leave your card for a second because they bring you the machine.
Well,
and let
that-
you do it
that's
all.
also
new. That's
technology.
No, that's like a Canadian thing. It's been
No,
here
no.
forever. In the U.S., they don't bring the thing to the table. They like take your bill, they do it, and then you sign it.
But that seems old to
I
me.
think that seems like in like Boca they still do
Guys,
that.
that's everywhere in the U.S.
Like I just feel like
no,
it's like
you're
not,
wrong. It's everywhere in the U.S.
Okay, well,
Vegas, they do that. Like it's just different in Canada.
I feel like you can't argue with Gary on
It's
this.
true.
I literally was just in New York, though I'm thinking about it. I can't remember. Okay.
We'll get back to you on that one. Okay, what else? What else?
Okay. Like something about.
do you speak like a Canadian yet? Like, do you say sorry?
Well,
or
I was
no?
just with
No,
John.
I'm
John's here visiting from England, so I saw him and his mom when I was leaving Starbucks. They're like, "Oh, sit with us." And they like know everyone in town. Anyway,
Oh, you hate that but this is just a
no,
speech.
and everyone's like, "Oh, you don't sound from New York." I don't think I've ever had a strong
You're losing
accent.
your touch. People actually say I sound like I'm from New York.
That's just like a jappy accent. It's like, I don't know.
Oh, really? Oh, I think it's because I talk really fast and I'm really aggressive. I'm like, everyone's
Yeah,
like,
but
wow,
that's
that
not a
sounds like you're
dialect.
screaming at me and from New York.
That's a New
sounds
York
like-
dialect.
That's like you're from Long Island and you're
Like,
annoying.
hey,
I'm really bad with
So
accents.
sorry, do you now speak with like a Canadian inflection when you say certain words?
I don't.
Ew,
I'd like to
no.
think.
Like,
No,
that's
it's a
a
good
turn
question.
off.
No, I'd like to think I
You
don't.
now speak with a Canadian inflection,
like,
like
do you
that
say
literally
things
just
like
made
sorry
me dry.
and- All right, Gary, throw on your designer.
Yeah, hey,
throw on your designer clothes
You know,
later.
listen,
Yeah, you're-
honestly,
You gotta get Annie
let's
turned
just
on.
also end here. There's certain things that just should be American. There's certain things that should be Canadian. And like, we're not trying to be like Canadian Idol is a full blown joke for us as a country. Like, why are we doing that to
Well, I'll
ourselves?
tell you
like,
why.
we have not nearly as good of a talent and it's just mimicking a
No,
show.
it's
Like,
actually a big deal.
That I wouldn't say we have not nearly as good
no,
talent.
no,
but-
call it something else. Okay,
Um,
whatever.
I
Justin
totally
Bieber.
disagree
I know
with
what
that.
you mean, but
Yeah,
like,
no, there's way more people in
it's
the
just
U.S.
like,
No,
call-
I disagree with you. I think there's like no chance a Canadian anything could be as good as
well,
a
yeah,
U.S.
there's
out
like
there.
one Justin Bieber and the rest of them are American
No,
celebrities.
it's not that there
or
couldn't
whatever.
be good talent. There's just way more people in the U.S. and way more cities.
Yeah,
it's just
true.
like the population's crazy.
But not that there
Yeah.
aren't talented people here in Canada. Obviously, Lauren, there
No,
are.
I'm not taking offense. I'm
I
just
know. I'm
saying
like,
to
okay, what are
say-
you, a singer-songwriter right now? I didn't fucking get the memo. You're leaving Annie.
I mean, I do have a microphone
There's,
here.
there's
Fucking be
rules.
Lisa
There's rules of
Loeb.
how much content has to be Canadian.
I think it's also just, you know what it is? I think
It's just
sometimes with
lame.
Canadian
Just admit
content,
it.
it feels Canadian. Like
there was
and-
a show that
No,
was
you're
like
right. You're
the
right.
corner store. Or something. You know what I'm talking about? That Canadian, the corner. Oh my god! But that's is
Wait,
that
sorry,
where
what
you're
is it? I
from?
don't know.
corner gas.
Thank you. They're so. It's just
Lauren's
so
upset.
embarrassing. It's,
No, I'm not upset. I totally get it. And I think there are shows that feel very Canadian and like budget.
Well, and the ironic
the
part about
budgets
that,
are smaller.
The
Like, they
ironic
don't
part about that
have
is
the
they
budgets that they
film
have
all
in
the
the
U.S.
States.
shit
I'm
in
not
Canada.
even saying that. I'm not even trying to say apples to apples. It's not the same thing. I'm saying if we're going to do a music show, Canada, do something like just at least do it original. Why are we literally? I guess is it a franchise? They just made it
there
Canadian
are. That's
and
like
made it worse.
Top Chef Canada. There are a lot of Canadian
but again,
offshoots.
there's rules. Like if you're whatever channel X in Canada, you can't just play American TV. It's like illegal. You literally need to.
It's
You need
all
a certain amount of Canadian content,
which is good for the country, but then makes the shows lame because it's like.
Which brings us to our next point. Should we have a TV show?
Yeah, I think so.
Gary could be the star.
I honestly think if the thing is, no.
I feel like
because it would be acting, and I feel like we couldn't be like real.
You'd be more restricted in I think what you could do.
Yeah.
Do you
But
think
then you couldn't get the real good?
Oh my God, imagine like we actually had a full episode dedicated to Gary's manscaping.
Do you think we'll ever live in the US again? Do you think we'll ever live in the US?
I think that maybe we'll have like a apartment in New York or like something, but I don't know if that will be like a permanent resident of ours.
Yeah. It's an interesting idea.
Would you want to move back to the States?
Well, people ask me like, oh, like, does it, like, Toronto's great. Like, it's a good city. We joked about living in Hamilton like last week. And like, well, for me.
Hamilton, no, actually Hamilton is amazing. You can, first of all, be
Hamilton's
very
in
close to John and
Ontario.
Marla.
It's outside of Toronto
I
for anyone who
am
doesn't know what that is.
Hamilton OG through and through, blood thick. Is that, I don't even know what that means.
Well, it's
but
also a very
I'm
different.
just
It's,
like,
it's a
in
very
the
different
crypts.
city from even when you grew up. Like the restaurants, like it's like a scene now because so many
I
young
just-
families have moved.
Well, first
there.
of all, it's evolved.
yeah,
They should do a better job with the waterfront. That was always a missed opportunity there. I'm really upset about that because it's very beautiful
it is
by the bay
beautiful.
and it's so nice and they just could have done better. But Hamilton, like I have all my close friends
Yeah.
that like went to high school with have all moved back. They have like beautiful homes and it's just like, it's so quaint and nice and there's no traffic and people say hi to you at the corner store.
Which is what that TV show
which
is.
is what that
No,
show
okay.
is about.
No, but I'm just like, honestly, it's great.
It feels like a small.
It just
town,
also,
yeah.
it just,
Well, and my point was like, I
think
moved
it's-
from New York to Toronto. It could have been fucking anywhere anyway. So Hamilton's like the
It's no
same
different.
for me.
you lived in Long
Like
Island.
my
You lived in
friends-
Long Island
No, I grew
also
up in Long
growing up.
Island.
No, but
Yeah.
you grew up in a suburb of New
where
York
it's
City.
similar, yeah.
I
So
feel like Gary's
Hamilton-
very adaptable. Gary could move anywhere.
Well, but I think moving to Toronto is the same as
Well, we
Hamilton
met
or
in
any
New
other
York
city.
also. New York is a very transient city. Like most people in New York that they
Don't
meet
end up
when they're
there.
in their mid-20s, like
Yeah.
aren't living there forever. They're there to start their career or whatever. They're like, most of your friends are now, well, outside the city at least.
Yeah,
in
no
Brooklyn
one
or
lives,
Philly
like,
or wherever. Yeah,
yeah.
Florida. So
Anyways,
anywho,
okay, guys, don't move. I need you guys close by. Me and the cousins have to be together.
Yeah, true that.
But get a place somewhere, and we'll go.
Okay,
Alright.
well, I think I'm gonna go to the Granite Club. So you guys can come play
That's
tennis.
not what I meant by a place somewhere. I meant outside.
Where
of-
would
That's
you?
just
Well,
what's
like
on-
if you,
if I could live anywhere, my
no,
thing is,
in the U.S. If pick a place in the U.S. where you think you would live or have like Florida for you, like where.
No, I don't know. I don't think I'd want. I don't
We
think the
wanted a
problem is I
place in
don't think
Florida a while
U.S.
ago,
would be my
but-
top choice.
No,
so
no, but that's why. Just I'm curious within the
every
U.S.
world, open it up.
No.
Say where
no,
in the
No?
world.
No, I'm just curious with the U.S. Like, have you never? You
will
haven't been
not get
anywhere.
off
You'd be like,
the
oh, this
US.
is not. Like
Um,
New York
if
is
we
were
very
forced
similar.
to live in a state, what would it be and why?
Yeah.
I feel a lot of pressure. I haven't thought about it. Maybe California.
Have you spent a
Oh.
lot of time in California?
No,
Oh.
but that's why I honestly would
Where have
not.
you spent the
pick
most
a-
time in the U.S.? Not many
She
places.
probably
School
New
in the
York.
States.
Yeah,
She
I
went
lived
to
in the
school in the
States.
States.
Oh, where's Tufts again?
Boston. I
Right.
love Boston.
Yeah,
you love
Boston's okay.
Boston?
I did, but
'Cause that's a
I found it
controversial
small
city. Yeah.
after I found it a little small and
Would you say it's controversial?
not very like multicultural.
No, I
like
feel like it's very small-minded there a bit.
I don't know, small minded.
No,
Listen,
just-
one in
It's quaint, but
one
I
in
wouldn't
every
wanna live in
3
Boston.
people there is a student, so you do get like a really good mix. But I would not want to live there now.
Forever.
I don't know, Gary. I don't know.
I feel like you could be like a Chicago gal.
You know what? Everywhere where I travel, I find I could move. Like we were just in Edinburgh, and I was like, I could live here. People
Well,
are
you're
so nice.
easygoing.
No, but I always see like when we were in Costa
How was
Rica.
the food?
and
Was
so
the food good there?
Food was fantastic.
Was it?
Fantastic.
I've never been. I'd like
And
to
the
go.
people are the nicest people you
I
will
can't
ever
get by
meet.
those accents though. I find
say,
that
what's the
really
accent like?
hard.
Can you do one?
It's like that. It's like the Outlander, like the.
Oh, cool.
She's good at accents, huh?
It's great there. And you know what we were just talking about this because Annie wants to open up like a dance studio. And what I was
Yeah.
saying about
Which I
Edinburgh,
support. Which I support.
I love this. But
Yeah.
the thing about Edinburgh is everybody is like,
Dances.
literally.
Oh my god, not
No,
a good
like
marketplace.
actually, this sounds like the weirdest thing, but like you go into any bar, they all have live music, and I don't
They're
care
just-
from like your Manchester Jan to your Annie to your John. Everybody
Is
is
grooving.
dancing
I
and grooving. No
love
one cares.
that.
There's no judgment, and it's honestly like actually just
Liberating.
it is liberating
I can
because Tony and
imagine.
I were like, what is this place where like people are just
They're like jigging.
they're literally grooving. No one gives a shit. Like I've never seen anything like it. So anyways,
And
I'm sure
Toronto also, for anyone that's like listening or like a builder
if you're still
or
listening, I
in
feel
the
like this-
restaunt industry, okay, I'm just gonna put this out there. Like the 40 plus crowd needs a fucking place to go and hang and not be like competing with tweens.
Yeah.
Not
The
competing,
gen-
sorry, even just hanging with them. Like I don't want to even be with them. Like do your own thing. That's cool. Like I'm in my own space. I don't want to feel
you
less
don't want to go
than.
to a club in
I
5
wanna
years
go
and
to-
see Romy and
I
be
just
like
want to
twerking with
go
her.
to a lounge with good music that I can dance to, have cocktails, and turn up still, and not feel like, oh, you're like a fucking 50-year-old still doing this. You know, like I feel like
You
and
got a
that's kind
while
of the
till
version
that.
of the dancing, but maybe there's like a club component to it. A dance class turned into a club.
Yeah, I feel like we should jot down all the business ideas that have come. We should just actually, you know what? This is what we should do. Let's have your dad on because he's a very successful entrepreneur,
pick
and let's
which
just
one.
throw out all these business ideas.
And he'll
and
get
let's-
yes or no.
We'll give him yes or no's. It'll be like a rapid fire.
Well, because you also have the
It will be like
Dragon's Den
Dra-
with John.
Yes, doing
It'll be
that.
like
that would be
John,
so, that would be
John's
so
Den,
good.
and he'll come wearing his bracelets.
oh my
and
god, and he'll choose the business he wants
Well,
to
because you
invest
also have
in.
the kids thing, like the daycare thing.
I have so
you have so
guys,
many. Yeah.
You have so many. You've always had like remember the drone with the bottles, the bottle service. There's been so many over
God,
the
my
years.
drone to take pictures. Are
I
you comfortable? I
I'm
always move so
you
much.
move
You always
so
I-
much.
Well, I'm wearing jeans also today.
Do you move a lot in your sleep? I
No,
feel like
no.
I actually should know this because I've slept with you so many times.
You would actually just sleep like a fucking dead person, and it's creepy. I just sleep normally.
A bomb could go off and I would not wake up.
Scary, and with like your mouth open and drinking cocktails and smoking cigarettes, and I'm like, Lauren, your daughter's up.
I have definitely fallen asleep with a glass of red wine in my hand on many
And
occasions.
honestly, and smoking, I feel.
Literally, you're making me sound like Thelma from The Simpsons.
No, you should have been that girl from Something About Mary.
Oh, Magda. You know what? She was very happy. And if I'm anything like
Honestly,
Magda,
no,
when
but
I am 80, tanned and living with my little pooch and smoking and just enjoying myself and sleeping with the hot anchor man or
Did
seaman.
she do that in that
Oh yeah,
movie?
she gets. Well, she tries to get Brett. I think she tries to get. Does she try to get Brett Favre?
So she has sex with the old man.
Yeah,
But
to
then-
get to Mary.
Yeah, but then always, whenever she has sex or has an orgasm, she has that strawberry split or banana split.
Wait, she
so
wants
she's
to hook up
eating it
with
at
me.
the end, and you're
about
like,
that.
oh, that's gross.
Forgot about that.
Yeah,
Oh, great
I
reference.
don't
Annie has no
remember.
idea what you're talking about. Okay, we'll rewatch that.
No, I know, but that like one time.
Oh, I
also
totally
don't
forgot about the
rewatch
straw.
things.
I totally forgot about
The only
that after
show-
she has the
The
orgasm.
only show that I loved so much that I've been considering rewatching recently, and I've never had the
Is it
sensation before.
Sex in the City?
No fucking
Ugh,
way.
no,
Know your
I would hope
audience.
not.
God.
Do you know what I'm going to say now that you're back on this episode? This would be like, oh my God, you actually know me so well.
Sorry, is this how old is this show?
It's, well, I'm
Old.
not giving it away. I just
No,
want
a hint would help.
Okay, a hint, just
like
a little.
not,
hint.
it's not that old of a show. It's clearly not a show from like the 90s that I loved.
It's
So a
like-
more recent
It's like
show.
a lost, like something that's like
Um,
exciting.
Yeah, it's got to be something sexy.
What's my favorite show?
Sex show? That sex show? What's it called?
No,
That,
we stopped in the middle.
a
Tell me
porn?
lies.
Is it a porn?
Oh, I
And
feel like I
this is
should get
boring
it. Okay,
now.
Okay,
fine.
so just say it.
Okay. Come on, Gear. I'm
Fuck.
giving you the eyes.
Oh, Summer High Tie.
No, that's a good one.
You did
though.
wanna
Oh, is it
watch
a
that
reality
recently.
show?
Based off reality, but not.
Based off reality. Okay, just say it.
Say it.
Dave.
Oh, but that's like not. It's still on.
No, I know, but
That
I want to
doesn't count.
rewatch it.
No, you
I wanna
you were
rewatch-
making it like
rewatch season
Saved
one.
by the something that's like
You
old.
made it seem- you did make
or
it
that's
seem a
like
little
at
bit
least
old.
at
Guys,
least
I
done.
did none of that. I said I only have ever wanted to rewatch one show.
Yeah, but it's
It
like
just
one
sound-
season.
yeah.
It wasn't. It's like you need something that's like 4 seasons. That's like over.
Even something that's like Breaking Bad or like a little old, but
Do you know
not
what
like
I
so
learned
old.
this week? Actually, Mark and I went to meet with an artist. She calls herself Lori Morris. She's
an incredible interior
She's an
designer.
incredible interior designer. We went into her house. You know, like I like literally white boxes. My whole house.
Yeah, you
Her
like no
house
color,
was
no nothing.
Overwhelming sensation of like I can't even explain to you.
I think it's like French country. That's her
it's
style,
French
right?
country. She can do any type of French.
It's very
French
ornate,
modern.
very ornate.
And how she set up her showroom, I mean, her house was basically like to show you all the different types. It was all within the same style, but things you could do. Like kind of like a showroom.
and you were
very
inspired.
no, like I was blown away. Like as was Mark. Like it was like something could be so feminine, but we both were like, we still like she is a true artist, and I don't know where I was going with. Oh, so then I saw her, and she was like,
You're gonna say there's no rules.
there's no rules. And then I went to New York, and everyone's so fucking cool. I should stop swearing. It's so gross. Everyone's so cool there. Everyone's like wearing something that like doesn't match, and
Everyone's very
they
cool.
all have like Ella's haircut, you know, like
little bobs.
like that.
She
mullet
did cut her
that's-
own hair. Yep.
and they're just like all like there's not like, oh, like that's the style. It wasn't about money or fashion. It was literally about style and just doing what like it was just inspiring to me.
Well, I think
And-
the whole thing with people in New York is like they're confident at because they have their own style and they're so like they know what they like. They're not wearing things because other people are wearing them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they
Isn't that like it? I feel
they
like that's what it is.
influenced.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry. Go.
Or maybe
so,
they did have influences. I forget where I was going with the story. It was
No, I know where
Where?
you were like
no rules.
Lauren and I were like, oh, you led us in a certain direction, but you
yeah.
didn't go
Thank you,
there.
Mark.
And you're like, you know what? There's no rules.
Well,
That's
there
the
aren't
show I
rules.
want to rewatch.
That was just your perception. I didn't say that.
But
you just were like, it had to be at least from 4
It
years
felt
ago.
like you were leading us to a
It
show
did.
where at least it was over.
Yeah.
That show's like
Okay,
It's
well,
hopefully
about
has a season
rules,
3.
but that just feels like we were misled by the way you were what you were saying.
Well, if you haven't seen Dave,
Okay.
back to my favorite show that I want to rewatch, even though it's only
A year old.
It's incredible.
okay.
Like he's a Jewish funny
Oh,
man.
you've
that's
talked about
actually an
this.
artist. He goes by Little Dicky.
Okay.
And it's a reality TV show it's not a reality. It's based on the reality of him becoming an artist in LA.
Okay. And
And
you guys
it's
both
got
like this show. I think it's
great-
also hard to find a show that like me and Benji both
And
like.
it's-
My friends went to camp with
But
him.
it's
He's
a-
because he's from Philly. He's so funny.
He's so
Lil-
funny.
Lil
His
Dicky.
music
He's
is
a great
like we like
rapper.
rap.
He's a great
like,
fucking
his,
rapper.
he's a great artist, but also it's like it's like his wit is like
He's
it's
insane.
very funny. I feel
He's
like I'd
insane.
like it.
it's a
The
little
lyricism's
bit, it's dry,
insane.
it's very
deep,
clever,
it's
and
amazing.
it's kind of like
and it's catchy. It's all great.
Okay. I'm gonna
Very
add it.
talented.
I'm
not
gonna add it to my
Larry
list.
David humor, but
Similar.
similar funny. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's kind of like a serious. It's like a drama as well. Like he goes through like this surreal breakup with his girlfriend, and like
Okay, I'm gonna add it. I just have to finish. I just started Tell Me Lies. Have you started watching that?
so. Yeah, we're
We
into
stopped
it.
in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like,
But again, this is not a show that I feel like I could watch with Benji. I feel like he would not be interested.
we
It's
like watching it together. We're like, this is sexy.
Oh, 'cause
Because the
of the
girl, the
sex
girl's
scenes.
She's
so
so
hot.
hot.
She
She's
is-
gorgeous.
and the guy's like, he's
Yeah.
okay.
He grows on you.
He's got a good
He
body, but I'm
grows
like, the
on
girl
you.
is stunning. But that's what everyone's saying. It's like, what is the
Wait,
sex
do you know
show
who the
with
guy
with
is?
Adam Damos
Do
that
you kn-
everyone was freaking out over?
Oh yeah, it's a
They're
cheap
saying it's
version of
basically
that.
like a younger version of that.
Well, it's kind of like what it is screwing in university. They all just
Well,
like
do you know the
are
guy's Peggy Bundy's real son?
Peggy.
No.
Yeah, she plays the
Katie
mom on the show.
Seagal?
Yeah, that's that's her
Here
real
we go.
son.
Katie Seagal.
Yeah, I didn't know her name either. She's Peggy Bundy.
It's
You are-
it's a very random skill set that could probably get me really far in like bar
A Jeopardy one category.
trivia is
Yeah.
bar
very
trivia.
important.
I
That's
would
a very
do
important
very
skill.
well in
Yeah, let's
like
do that.
or like a Jeopardy pop culture category. I would do very well in.
Looks like I'm drinking urine.
Yeah. Well, I did not. So sorry. The son is wow. They're the main guy.
The main not hot
Well,
guy.
you said he looks better looking without hair, which I agree.
Agree. I
Yeah.
do agree
Like
with that.
in college when he's bald,
Agree.
looks
They
better than
actually
the.
should have done the longer hair
earlier
for college,
and then
the
he walked
shaved head
in
later.
Yeah, it kind of went backwards. I actually didn't. Yeah, but-
Okay.
any show that's honestly the characters are like hottish having sex, and
Yeah,
it's
it
like
turns you on. You got to watch it.
it's just
yeah.
it's easy to follow.
Yeah, it's easy to follow. It's not like Game of Thrones where it's like you miss 1 second and there's like 20 characters and you're
I
like,
know.
what is happening?
I'm in a group chat with Mark and Noah and Concy, and it's literally 98% Game of Thrones.
I know. Gary
And,
just
like-
asked me if I was watching the new season, and I'm so.
They like literally speak in like
Honestly-
Lannister terminology, and like me and Noah don't even respond at this point. He's like, "How is Queen Lannister and Lannister of Canada?" And like, I literally, where is Sir Son Wesley?
That would have actually been a really good Halloween costume for you. Anything
Ew.
Game of Thrones for you because you're so into it.
I'm not like I'm not gonna win the
Oh,
award.
I'm sorry. It's your fucking Facebook picture. You're literally on a throne with your
Oh.
computer on your penis. It's the weirdest thing. He's sitting there.
On my lap.
This is his.
Lap.
No, this is him. It's his Google image, and I just had to change it because I got so scared that this is what my husband was doing. Okay, he's in the throne.
Wait, you're sitting on
No,
a throne?
He's sitting on the throne.
So when
He
I
has
lived
a
in New
laptop
York-
like this, okay, on the throne, and he's like,
So
Why is your leg up?
when I
on
lived
the
it, when
throne
I
with
lived
his
in New
computer,
York,
like his computer.
But
is
why is your
when I
leg?
lived in New York, it was the middle of Game of Thrones. Like when they were filming it, it was a huge show. They brought the set, the Iron Throne
Oh.
from the show, all the shit from Game of Thrones to somewhere in New York on 49th Street. There was a line that was like 20 like
Blocks
blocks
long.
crazy for people to like wait in line. me and my friends from work went right to the front line. I go, we're with Time Warner Cable, blah, blah,
Who
blah.
said that? Who said that?
Me.
Obviously,
They
Gary.
let us right in. So it was like, I'm telling you, would have been 3 hours. We walk right
Wow.
in. You take a picture on
Such
the
a Gary
Iron Throne.
move.
But wait, so where was your laptop? In your bag? You
So no, I
pulled
had
out-
my backpack because we were coming from work, like a bunch of people from
Yeah,
work,
so
like Game of
put
Thrones. So anyway, long story short, you can take a picture. So I took one picture where I'm like, he, just like sitting on the throne, like every
Right.
fucking person. There's 100 people in front of you, and I'm like, wait, this is boring. So I like got out my work laptop. I like put my feet up, like as if I just felt like it was a more interesting picture.
Like this was like your desk at home.
That's right.
That
And then
is
I
very
haven't been
funny.
on Facebook in 20 years to actually like update my Facebook.
Lanny
So,
sees the picture.
so now
Every
it's
time
been
he
there
calls.
since.
I
Every
feel like
time you
Gary,
call.
we're for the YouTube video. We need to somehow like put up a picture.
You'll see that
of
picture. He
Gary
can
on the
find it.
throne
It's a
with
great
his feet
picture.
up. Wow.
Well, and then with the show, the prequel, they're back on the Iron Throne. It's just great. I'm so
You know
I'm
what?
so happy
Once,
that Game of Thrones is back and it's
it's a
good.
really cool
What was
following.
It's really good.
What was Khaleesi's? What was
You know the hot guy.
Jason Momoa? What was his name?
Khal Drogo.
Honestly, once he was kind of killed off, I'm like, those sex scenes, like, talk about turning you on. I mean,
Yeah, she's like pushing a dragon and shit.
she's-
Yeah, no, he treats her like a real animal in the beginning, and then she gets her respect. No, because she's
no, I
Is
just
she a-
loved. I
is
loved
she a
that.
dragon?
I love that relationship.
she's the mother of dragons.
That's her
So she
title.
is.
Yeah, sure.
That is her title.
Anyway, the new show's really
she has
good.
sex with her
Like Game of
brother?
Thrones was great for a time, and then got really trash.
It just got.
But this
So what
is like a
happened?
It was
resurgence.
hard to follow.
Sorry,
This was
he
the whole
didn't. He
point.
did not die yet. George
Who?
Arthur the Fourth. Who wrote,
George R.
the
R.
one who-
Martin
whatever. Is he dead?
No, he's still alive.
He is alive. So
Hmm.
because that was the whole thing, right? They wrote the book, they wrote it, and then he didn't finish it, and the TV series was all the way completed, and they needed to finish the storyline.
That's right.
Or they wanted to renew the season.
He is also a very creepy looking man.
He
Like
does-
when you see
he's
all the
doing the
sex
most.
scenes in that book and then see him, he looks like a perverted Santa Claus.
Yeah, agreed.
He does.
Agreed.
You know,
Well, everyone has imagination.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like for him,
everyone has an imagination.
But
I
he's
just
al-
like picture him writing these like sex scenes, like because I used to work at Chorus and I remember he came to visit and I was
What?
like,
wait,
you know
what?
that?
You met George R. R.?
yeah, he
Oh,
came.
cool.
He
Is this a
came.
true story.
Yeah.
Truth is what we say to my kids. Truth. And Wesley's like,
Wait, was it an intimate like you and George?
There were like I don't know how. I mean, they had like a bunch of.
Did you get a
seats set up.
picture?
I took a picture of him. I didn't get a pic. I didn't love him enough to like. I've got to take a picture with
Oh,
him.
speaking of funny Facebook pictures with celebrities, you also have one, Missy.
Why were you on Facebook? You were really
Well, I'm just
doing a
thinking-
deep
no,
dive
I'm
on
just thinking,
Facebook.
This is like OG Lauren Levy, Lauren
with-
Ackerman. It's a picture of you and Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay,
It's
yeah.
a selfie, and you're going like this.
Me and Gordo, I am. Yeah. Well, that's because his big thing was like, fuck, like it was in the whole era, fuck, here we go again. When, what was the show that he did?
Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen.
It's
and he
still
was
on
like,
TV.
why was he-
fuck you.
Why
Why was he
this-
swearing so much?
because that's just
That's
his,
what he said to the people.
That's
that
also
couldn't-
that's like
couldn't-
up your alley. It's like the set, like it's celebrity and it's
Oh, yeah.
cooking
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's
She was on,
British.
guys. Lauren
was
was,
a charity,
On,
so
Lauren
it
was
was-
on the show.
No, that's
No,
a
it-
lie. That
no,
is
but you
not
were on
accurate
another
at all.
show,
Lauren is
right?
a top chef.
No, well, I was actually on a cooking show with my mom, with Manchester Jan,
And
but
you-
that was a
and
separate
you
thing.
cut
This
your
is-
finger.
What?
So this is a separate story, but the Gordon Ramsay story was a charity fundraiser. And if you raised a certain amount of money, you got to be in this cooking challenge with Gordon Ramsay as the judge.
What did you? Oh, you were a judge or you cooked?
I cooked with like a group. There was like, they set us up with like, there were different groups and my group was led by Chef David Rocco. Lovely
Oh.
man. Yeah. He just opened up a little kind of like bar in Yorkville. Really nice guy. So he led our team and it was like 5 random people I was cooking with and Gordon Ramsay judged our dish against other dishes. And the thing about him, which Manchester Jan told me, she knows everything to do with a British person. She like
She
knows.
knows.
She's like, Gordon Ramsay is the loveliest person. She's like,
Ooh, what does she say that about them?
Sylvie? No. She's like, it's a persona. She's like, Sylvie in Manchester says he's the lovely. Like she hears what you guys think I overgeneralize. She hears one nugget of information and it's like,
Sylvie in Manchester
no, literally
says,
Sylvie in Manchester, but it is true. It is a
It's for
persona.
TV.
He's actually super generous and literally like was the nicest guy.
he's really,
What did
really
you
good on
cook?
TikTok.
So you cooked
He's got
something
all
that he
this
ate.
shit with
I
his
actually
With his daughter.
daughter.
Is so
can't. I
cute.
So
can't
cute.
remember. I honestly can't remember what we cooked. And
But you won.
Yeah, I can't actually even remember if we won.
I think you'd remember if you won.
Yeah.
No, I actually literally
saying like I feel like you would.
I can't remember.
So you probably didn't, but you got a good picture with him. And the point is, it's your.
I got a
Facebook
good picture. But the cooking show with Manchester Jan was a really interesting one. So I used to work for Chorus, and they had this. So like under the Chorus umbrella is like the Women's Network, and they do all like their own content, whatever. So they launched this like reality cooking show, and someone who I work with was like, "You should audition for this." They're just, it can be coworkers, mother, daughter, brothers, whatever. And so we auditioned, and they liked our little like shtick together. And it was like a series of competitions. So one was like, make your favorite dish. Another one was like, go into this restaurant and like prepare a meal. And
you
then,
and your mom.
Yeah. And then there was a final, there was
like a supermarket sweep. Like
they were on a show
not really,
together.
but there was a final challenge like Chopped, where you opened up a basket of unknown ingredients. You had to cook, you had 30 minutes. And then on the judging panel was like a chef, Benji, and my father. And one other, it was like a blind.
Yeah, what?
Guys, I gotta dig this up. It was the funniest thing.
you're like, my brother and my husband were the judges.
So they didn't know
Sounds
who
really
was who, guys.
How did Benji get
or
on?
objective.
Well, because
or
it was
fair
like people
or
you
not
knew
fair.
were judging, but they didn't know whose dish was whose, guys. So it was tied.
Oh,
We
that's
were tied.
funny. That's a funny idea for the show, though.
No, so we were tied, and then
Wait, hold on. Are you and your mom on the same team?
we're on different teams.
Oh, you're against
Oh,
each
I
other.
thought you were on the same
Sorry, that
team.
was
Different
not clear.
teams. We're competing. It's 3 challenges over the
just you
course of the
versus
show.
your mom.
Me versus my mom.
I thought they were on a team together too. Yeah.
Guys, it was tied after the first 2 challenges. So the chop challenge was the final like tiebreaker. I cut my finger so bad, like literally, like I think I had to get a couple stitches. So one of the chefs had to help me, and my mom was like, I can't believe you're getting help right now. Like my mom was nice little Manchester
I
van.
can't wait to talk to her about this.
Guys, she was vicious.
So she would throw you under the bus to win.
No, literally,
Well,
she's
that's
like,
where
it's
you
not.
get your competitive spirit from,
They're
Ren.
like,
You would have done
Manchester
the
Jan,
same thing.
hurry
and been
up.
like,
She's
what
like,
the
it's
fuck?
not fair. She's like, you're helping Lauren. And I'm like, literally, like a severed finger. I'm like,
and you're 12.
no, I was like, Mom, just chill. Anyways, so they
Who
go,
won?
they
Who
go to
won?
rate the dishes, guys.
You beat her.
I beat her to this day.
She won't let it down.
She will not let it go.
Yeah.
It is a
See, you remember
sore
that one.
spot.
Is she a
remember
great
kicking her
cook?
butt.
She's a great cook, and clearly very, and she'll be like, well, Lauren got help.
Yeah,
like,
that,
it will not be
Because
like,
Lauren made a better dish.
yeah.
Did you do it on purpose?
What, beat her?
Cut your finger.
No, I like really, it was painful. I had to go to the hospital
I felt
after.
like, yeah, there was I remember that story.
I had to like,
you actually have cut your finger quite a few times.
well, I had a bad blender story where after I had Gemma, I was like very, you're like, I think I had postpartum. I was like, yeah, I was fine. I think I was like not well. And I remember making like some kind of burger with my hand masher, and I put my finger in to clean out the blade and turned it on.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was bad. I required 10 stitches. Have you not ever had, I feel like, have you ever broken anything?
No.
Just knock on something. Yeah.
Yeah. I had stitches in my chin.
Oh, was that because a toilet? You slammed your chin on a
I
toilet?
was doing lots of cartwheels and I fell on a coffee table.
Oh, your coffee table in your house.
Yeah. That I'm fortunate. I have not.
Have
I've,
your
like,
kids?
sprained maybe something.
No, I feel like your kids are pretty good too.
So far.
Yeah.
You too. God,
Yeah,
I hate
I
the
know,
conversation. Ew,
I know.
like, what is it? What is this?
Yeah, let's move
The
on to
topics.
this.
Anyways, let's end here. This was great.
Yeah.
Gary.
Gary,
I
thanks
feel
for
like,
coming
no,
on.
Well, like
Oh,
you
you
want
wanna
a
keep going?
takeaway, right? Like that was the thing from the last episode.
Oh,
was like,
no,
Ren
that was
has to
Lanny's
have
thing. She was
takeaway.
like, you have to have a takeaway
okay.
Well, no,
always,
but-
Annie.
Yeah. So what is it, Ren? What did we take away? That just because you were born with something
I
doesn't
got
make
it. I
it.
got it.
What's
I got
the
it.
takeaway?
Okay, yeah.
The
But I don't think there is
takeaway
is there a takeaway here?
Gary's first blowjob happened
With a hat
The,
on.
the, the
With a
takeaway
hat
is
on.
where
with a condom.
Yeah, and condom.
With a hat. With a hat on.
Learning about condoms is important.
Gary's
Yeah.
first blowjob happened with a condom. Ren's good at accents.
Yep. Annie is
America.
No, I feel like a takeaway is not just like the sum of what happened.
No,
but like,
no, that's what I'm saying. It's something people could learn
Yeah.
from this episode.
Yeah,
I
the
was like
the
doing the
grass
Coles
is always
no, you
greener.
were literally just doing a
a summation.
oh, what
Okay,
is it,
Ryan
Ryan?
Jones.
Go ahead.
There you
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gary, maybe because I feel like you're kind of
No,
looking
I don't
for,
want to talk to little
No?
kids about
sex?
No, that's weird.
All right, but you could just
Their
could create,
parents should
but
talk to
Gary,
them in
you could
school.
create the program.
Nah.
You could create the program.
I actually know someone. I feel like I know someone who would. My friend Jack, who I spoke about before, who started that. Like she wrote a book called "Chloe Has Chlamydia," and it's about she's a koala that has chlamydia, and it's to teach children about
I remember that.
STDs. No,
Oh
it's
my God.
and she like
Guys, I think this is the title of the episode.
Chloe has
so
Chloe.
well, you have to
has
ask her because it is
chlamydia.
her book and she named it.
That's
that.
Guys, there's
that's
also a lot of
very
Chloe is a
clickbaity.
very
That's a
popular
very
name right
clickbait.
now.
But anyway, so maybe she could write another good children's book about all this stuff.
I love that.
But,
Yeah.
But are we encouraging kids to use
No, have you
condoms
no
and
no
all that?
have
No,
you
the thing
not
is that
have
these
you not
things are gonna
seen
happen
have you
anyway.
not seen that Beverly Hills 90210 episode with
No, of course
Donna
not,
and the
no.
mom is
What
like
happens? I'm
well
sure.
they're all at Shannon Doherty's house and the Donna's mom is like Tori Spelling's mom is like very anti condoms and
Why?
because of what you just said she thinks it encourages people to have sex and Donna Martin, graduate, Donna Martin makes a big speech at Shannon Doherty's house being like, you know, if you're going to build a pool, the kids are going to swim anyways. So why not like teach them how to swim?
Damn.
And like that was a cultural reference for me that was
Well,
clearly stayed with me.
One final note on cultural references, which is like blows my mind. We talked about it when we were in Portugal. Like, Ruby, who's like one of Lenny's
She's
like
15.
second cousin, she's 15.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't know what Saved by the Bell is. So like to me, I'm like hearing her 90210 story. I'm like, it sounds like a dramatic Saved by the Bell episode of like whatever. But
I'm
just,
so
you can't connect
excited.
to like the younger generation on Saved by
Yeah,
the
that's
Bell
why
or
keep them out of our
Zoolander.
clubs.
It's fucked up. It's
So
so
that's
fucked
why
up.
I personally, for me, my kids watch all the old movies and all the old shows.
You're
Yeah.
good like
do they
that
do they
too.
know Saved by the Bell though? Your kids?
They don't yet, but they
It's
have watched
alright.
so many old like
I feel like that's
all
such a
Full
good
House
kid
they've
show.
watched.
It's
We'll get on it, but like
alright.
all the like old movies.
Well,
they've
because
watched.
it's very PG. Like it's like,
It's
And they don't. They're
alright.
so good. I mean, they're so politically incorrect. Like now we watch like
oh, I wonder if that'd be weird to like go back. and-
every old movie, like Ladybugs. You remember with Rodney
Oh,
Dangerfield?
that's a
Favorite.
really good movie.
But there
My
are so
favorite.
many like.
oh my god, and Amanda Bynes when she was the boy, then the girl.
Yeah. Well, no. So
Oh my
when-
God,
that's more recent. That's from
Xander,
like 10 years ago.
Xander used to love that show Ladybug on Netflix. It was like the girl
Oh,
who
he
like
still
turns into a
likes it.
ladybug. So I'd be like, oh, you guys want to watch Ladybugs? Great. And I turned on Rodney Dangerfield, the soccer movie. They're like, what is this? I was like, sorry guys, you gotta
Good
watch it.
dad
Well, Rodney
joke.
Dangerfield is also
So funny.
an icon.
He gets no respect.
Annie, did you see that movie? There's no way you saw Ladybug.
100%. It was one of my favorites.
did?
There were certain cult favorites that I did
Wow.
watch, and I
So
loved that because I was
that's-
really into
I
soccer.
think that's the takeaway.
Is Annie
Is
needs
that
to watch more
no,
movies?
we need to force the younger generation to watch all these good movies so they
and learn
understand what I'm
about
saying.
and they learn about important subjects in those shows.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
More
Donna
time
Martin for
movies.
Prez.
Donna Martin graduate. Okay. Bye.
Why did she not graduate?
Okay, Gary,
It's over.
Gary, we gotta go.
Okay, bye.